I'm about to tell you something so simple yet so unrealized that can be applied to every single aspect of your life to get you to where you want to be. And that simply is just input equals output. And what I mean by this is whatever you're working for, how much effort you put into something will equal the probability that you actually get what you're working for. If you want to be rich, have muscles, have a strong mindset, if you commit to that aspiration and do everything that you really deep down, you may say, I don't know what to do, but you deep down know what you have to do to achieve those goals, you will get it. It's impossible to try your hardest every day and not one day succeed. For example, let's say you want to get closer to God and you only pray one time a day. God will give you his blessings of what's worth one prayer a day. Right? Because you're putting in a certain input and God gives you the output that's equal to what you're putting in, right? Input equals output, obviously, right? So they're equal, right? But the guy behind you is praying 5 times a day, right? So God will give him what's worth of praying 5 times a day, which means the guy behind you is getting blessed 5 times more than you are because input and output are equal. The more input you put in, the more output you will receive. Do you see what I mean? The amount of output, the amount of rewards you get depends on how much input, how much work, grind, and effort you put in by probability. Okay, obviously there's like a few exceptions, like for example, the lottery, like it's pretty much impossible to win the lottery, but there is a small chance you can win the lottery, right? And if you do end up winning the lottery, obviously the input versus output rule doesn't really work because it's just, God has just fucking blessed you undeservedly, basically, right? But the moral of this video is just work your hardest every day, work so hard that it's impossible to not succeed. Like, it's simple. Like, people expect success but don't put in enough input for the output. If you want to be a millionaire, if you even want to make 100K a year, right? But you don't put in enough, your input isn't strong enough, then you're not going to make it. If you haven't made it for your whole life, if you've just been a failure your whole life, it's because your input to your goals was lacking. Your input is not strong enough. You need to make your input strong. Focus on your input. What can I do to make it impossible to not get what I want? What do you want? Let's say you want muscles, right? What can I do to make sure I can look muscular, I can look strong? What can I do to make not looking muscular impossible? Simple. It's 1 + 1 = 2. It's a formula. I nearly messed up that. I was about to say 1 + 1 = 3 for a second. I'm retarded. Maybe school isn't a scam. Maybe I do need school. Shut up, I'm joking. School is a scam. But yeah, life is like maths a lot of the time. Input versus output. It's like a maths equation. Sometimes life is like a maths equation. If you do X amount of thing, Y amount of thing will happen by probability. It's Newton's third law, my friend. It's what the Matrix teach you. The Matrix don't even realize that they're teaching you how to be successful, but we choose to ignore it and just brush it aside and go, educational system. School is good, kids. I was arguing, not arguing, but I was having a discussion with someone in my TikTok comments, and they generally thought the educational system was good. They were saying, "Oh, I dropped out of school and it was a mistake." But it was a mistake for you because you didn't put in enough fucking input, my friend. But people expect output without putting in input. It's simple maths equation, and it's what schools secretly teach you without the schools even realizing it themselves. The schools teach you how to be slaves, but if you really deep what they're teaching you, they're also teaching you how to be successful. But school's still not good because they don't want you to be successful. They do it by accident, right? If you talk about the Matrix so much, if you talk about the educational system so much, you are one day going to slip up and say something that's actually beneficial to the opposite of what you're talking about, right? But anyways, subject for another day. But I was arguing with someone in my TikTok comments that the educational system was good. It is crazy. Anyways, the objects being input and output, those are the objects. If we're relating this to Newton's law, are the complete opposite. The input is that it's hard to put in the effort, but the output is it's easy to accept the reward afterwards. Complete opposite things, right? Thank you boys for watching. As always, in peace. Work hard. Put in X amount of input for Y amount of output. I don't want to hear anyone complaining about not being successful if they haven't put in any input. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean just like doing like 5 push-ups a week. Like, I mean proper inputs, right? If you do 5 push-ups a week, you're gonna get the output of what your input was worth. Thank you. Bye-bye.